Welcome to Sports Insider. It is, of course, Thursday, so we've got lots to talk about. Browns, Indians, and Cavaliers. We'll have Mary Kay Cabot on shortly. Paul Hoynes is going to join us, and then Chris Haynes. Haven't talked to him in a while. He is, of course, Chris Fedor. I'm Dan Labbe. We'll have Bud Shaw on later as well. Let's get right to it and talk Browns and bring in our Browns beat reporter, Mary Kay Cabot. Mary Kay, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How you doing?
Doing well, and this is not what the Browns had in mind necessarily, but Johnny Manziel very well could start on Sunday. Josh McCown can't even practice until Friday if he is cleared to practice on Friday. Johnny Manziel, let's look back at the Jets game. What did you think? Have you had a chance to kind of rewatch it and see what Johnny did well and what he needed to work on?
Yeah, I did rewatch it when I got home the very next day, and in the beginning, I really did think that, I saw that the lights were coming on. I saw that he was making good decisions. It looked like he was going through progressions, knowing where to go with the ball, and this was after having no practice whatsoever with the first team and basically no practice at all in the previous 2 weeks. So, it makes me think that if they have an opportunity to game plan around him a little bit and give him things to do that he can do well, that maybe he would fare better. However, having said that, it also gives Dick LeBeau and Ray Horton an opportunity to study the film of Johnny's 2 starts, 2 relief appearances, and try to figure out exactly how to defend against him. And, of course, when you're talking about a Dick LeBeau, you know what they're going to do. They're going to bring the pressure early and often. They're going to either try to make him throw from the pocket, which is difficult for him to do because of his size and whatnot, or they're going to try to get him out and clobber him once he gets out there. So I think it's going to be an incredible challenge for Johnny to have to go up against a LeBeau-Horton-led defense.
Mary Kay, is that where we're headed? Are signs pointing to Johnny being the starter on Sunday, or is there still a chance that Josh McCown could go?
There's still a chance, and you know what? Basically, the truth of the matter is it's in the hands of the neurologist whether they clear him or not for Friday. Now, it seems that they're pointing that way, that he will be ready to practice on Friday. At that point, then Flip and Mike Pettin have to make a decision. Do they go with a guy who has not practiced the game plan all week, or do they go with Johnny? It's a little bit of a tough call because, you really do want to be, getting those reps and going through the actual game plan. However, they have put all their eggs pretty much in Josh McCown's basket this season, and he was supposed to be the guy. So I think there would be strong sentiment for starting him if he's ready to go by Friday.
Mary Kay, an area that struggled on Sunday against the Jets obviously is the running game. Isaiah Crowell wasn't seeing holes when they were there, and the offensive line wasn't opening up holes at times either. We've heard from Duke Johnson a couple times this week. If this running game is going to get right, is it going to be with Isaiah Crowell, or is it going to be because Duke Johnson kind of takes over and gets the bulk of the carries?
I think it's going to be Duke Johnson. I think that, he showed a little bit more in this past game, maybe the ability to be a little bit shiftier, to cut back a little bit, to maybe have a little bit better vision. That's why they originally wanted him to be their featured back this season. Isaiah struggled at the end of last year. Isaiah's preseason stats were only something like 2.8 when he won that starting job. So I think there were signs there that they wanted to kind of go in a different direction a little bit. I do think that if Duke is ready for more duty, I'd have to think that he would be carrying the load.
Mary Kay, on the other side of the ball, the Browns defense, which chirped all offseason about how great it was going to be, gave up 31 points to the New York Jets, a mark that the Jets reached one time in 16 games last year. Now they're going against Marcus Mariota. It's kind of a different kind of offense than what they saw last week against the Jets. Do you believe that the Browns defense is going to be better than what it showed last week against the Jets?
Well, it must be remembered, of course, that the Browns turned the ball over 5 times in this past game, and 28 of those Jets points were scored directly off those Browns turnovers. So I do think that the defense probably would have fared a little bit better had the offense not been turning the ball over that many times. Having said that, it was not Joe Hayden's best game, one of the worst games that I've seen him have. I think him being out with a hamstring for much of the preseason didn't help his cause at all. I think he'll be better this week. I've seen him have poor starts before and then get it turned around. So I think he will play better. I think they'll shore up some of their run defense problems now that they know who's doing what. And they need to get more pressure. They definitely have to get more pressure on the quarterback.
All right, Mary Kay Cabot, it's week 2, but I'm going to ask you about this guy because, listen, if Johnny starts on Sunday, based on what we saw against the Jets and the way he plays, there's a chance we could see this guy.
Oh, no.
Who is Austin Davis, and why did the Browns like him so much?
Well, you know what? In talking to Austin Davis a couple of times this week, he's very, very impressive just to talk to him. And, to go out there and to be able to win 3 games when you're, new to a team last year with the Rams and you haven't even, been around very much, I think they view him as a good developmental guy, somebody that has some skills that are worth investing some time and effort into. Now, having said that, we know that in Brownstown, generally you do end up seeing your third quarterback play some during the season. So, I do think that there's a chance that Austin Davis will play some this year for the Cleveland Browns, and they're going to have to be prepared for that. He's a guy that broke a bunch of records of Brett Favre's at Southern Miss. He is mobile, he has mobility, but he prefers to throw from the pocket, and he's learned the hard way that that's what you have to do at this level. And, I just think he's somebody that they wanted to take a longer look at.
All right, we asked about Austin Davis already.
Yeah, you did.
I don't even think Fedor has a question. I think
Nope.
he's speechless. All right, Mary Kay, before we let you go, do you have an early pick for Sunday?
I haven't made a pick yet. I would like to figure out who's going to start at quarterback first.
Yeah.
And I think that will determine whether I pick the Browns to win or lose.
All right, Mary Kay Cabot, our Browns beat reporter. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.
Just saying. You could see Austin Davis on Sunday. Did you see the hit that Johnny Manziel took?
I did, yes.
And this is a guy whose first instinct is to run.
Yeah.
And he's, what? I mean, I know they list him at like 5'11", but he's like 5'9". We could see Austin Davis on Sunday.
I love the question, too. Who is Austin Davis? The answer, the same guy that we've seen for the last 15 years here in Cleveland. Like all those guys, all those third-string quarterbacks that have been on the roster in the past. Colt McCoy. He's him. That's who he is.
And, she called him another developmental quarterback. Well, you've got a developmental quarterback. His name's Johnny Manziel.
Right.
He's the guy that could be starting.